Thank you very much, Jonathan, and welcome to all of you to our webinar here about DLD College London. Welcome to each and every one of you to our multi-award-winning 13 to 19 co-ed boarding and day school right in the heart of London. I'm Irfan Latif, and I've had the honour of being the principal of this special and unique school for over 5 years. It was established nearly 100 years ago and has firmly become a leading light in the independent sector for its innovative approach to teaching and learning, pastoral care and boarding, having recently won Boarding School of the Year and the Special Judges Award for Independent School of the Year. All head teachers call their schools unique, but it is the case that in all my professional experience in some 6 schools in the UK, I have never known such a happy and inspiring environment. Nowhere have I seen more dedicated and skilled teaching, nor such commitment and initiative in providing creative and challenging learning for all our students. We combine the best of the traditional, clear moral values, an emphasis on character, compassion and service, with an innovative and forward-looking vision for preparing young adults for this rapidly changing technological world in which we live in. Infused with passion, purpose, and a sense of joy, ours is a school where children flourish, achieving far more than they could ever have imagined. We're currently celebrating Oxbridge success with offers to read English and engineering. We have strength and depth within our curriculum, truly outstanding. Curiosity, critical thinking, and problem solving lie at the heart of our approach to learning. With around 50 co-curricular activities, clubs, and societies to choose from, our students can develop new interests, discover unexpected talents, and feel valued. Not for their examination results, though these are outstanding, but simply for who they are, with all their unique and exciting gifts and personalities. We know that one of the greatest challenges for children is to overcome their fear of failure. Perfectionism and the curse of the good student can prevent them from taking risks, rising to challenges, and having a go. Performance anxiety, coupled with all the pressures of social media, can rob children of the opportunity to enjoy new opportunities and achieve high goals. We therefore help them develop courage, emotional resilience, and a strong sense of self-worth with our award-winning approach to well-being. We create an environment where mistakes or failures are merely a work in progress and essential to the journey towards maturity and confidence. At DLD, we seek to instill a love of learning through our own enthusiasm for discovering more of this vibrant and complex world around us. To me, the approach to learning is remarkably simple. By putting talented and diverse young people together with skilled and dedicated adults, in addition to support from engaged and committed families like you, we create extraordinary results that speak for themselves. We want to build a culture where the classroom climate welcomes errors. Student engagement is the norm, questioning is high, and students gain reputation as effective learners. At DLD, in the center of the most exciting and iconic cities in the world, your son or daughter, or both, can prepare for the adventure of adult life and enjoy unrivaled cultural opportunities in a safe, secure, caring, and inspiring community. But don't take my word for it. The Good Schools Guide, who recently visited us, said, DLD College London is one of the most unique and exciting schools in Britain. Urban, modern, forward-looking, and undeniably cool. Your future is right here. I look forward to welcoming you to DLD this September. Together, we will be outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irfan. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Dr. Sarah Watson, and I am the Vice Principal Academic here. At DLD College London, we are extremely proud of our academic life here. We are not a school that only chooses the students from the top of the academic spectrum. We look for students who have strengths across a really broad range of skills that may be exam-based skills, but may also be other types of skills as well. And I'd just like to run you through what the academic offering is at DLD College London and to give you a sense of what achievements are possible here. So the DLD academic journey is a multifaceted one. You can join in year 9, and we have developed a unique program to enable students to access all of the future courses from year 10 and above, and I will be going through that year 9 curriculum. We then have offers in year 10 and 11 as a 2-year program, but we also have a 1-year program for students joining us a little bit later and just want to do an intense course in year 11. And then for students moving into the 6th form in years 12 and 13, we have a variety of offerings as well, from A-levels through to BTEC programs through to international foundation programs. So whatever your strengths, whatever you have a passion in, whatever your style of learning, there is a pathway for you at DLD. Just to give some context as to our results, as I say, we are a non-selective school. We take students from a broad range of academic abilities. And for the recent results, for our A-levels, 40% of all our grades were at A* or A, which is a phenomenal achievement. The BTECs were absolutely outstanding results this year, with 92% distinction, which is the equivalent of 3 A* and A grades at A level. 100% of our results were passed with distinction or merit. GCSE, 69% of our results were graded in those top bands of a level 9 to 6. And for IFP, we have had 100% pass rate, which is phenomenal, and 36% of students were awarded a distinction in that. So we do have very strong academic background. In terms of our levers and destinations, 100% of our students progressed onto higher education, with around half going to those prestigious Russell Group universities, and a significant number also winning places at prestigious US universities such as NYU and NCLA. 48% of our A-level students progressed to Russell Group universities, with a fifth of them to top 100 world rankings. And this year, we've already had offers for our students for University of Cambridge, University of Oxford, King's College London, Imperial, Exeter, Birmingham, several in the US and more across Europe as well. We are a very international school, and we don't just reflect that in our students, but we reflect that in the pathways that we allow students to follow. So for the Year 9 programme, if you are interested in joining us when you are 13 years old, then you will have a bespoke, unique programme that has been designed for the modern age and has been designed to allow you to progress into any future pathways of your choosing. You will, of course, have a strong core of subjects in mathematics, English communication, and science. These are really important skills and important content knowledge that will enable you to access the rest of the curriculum and, importantly, the skills to go forward into higher course levels. What is unique about our Year 9 programme is that other subjects are interdisciplinary in approach. So what we are looking at doing is looking at how subjects interlink, how those skills are transferable across subjects, and why that knowledge is important to use together. So you will study courses such as creative arts, which combines elements of art, film, media, and photography. Another course in Year 9 is called Digital Futures, and that makes use of our extensive facilities, high-tech facilities such as our esports arena, our high-profile business and economics departments, and computer science, looking at programming, coding, and skills for this century. A further course you will be looking at is one called People and Places. We might traditionally think of as humanities, looking at those elements of history, geography, psychology, sociology, and classic civilizations. Moving on into year 10, you can choose a 2-year pathway where you would study for 2 years, which is the usual method. So year 10 and 11. You can choose from either 10 GCSEs, a very traditional pathway, which is suited to certain students, or you can choose a combination of GCSEs and BTECs. We have some really innovative BTECs here, such as BTEC Sports, BTEC Business Enterprise, BTEC Esports, BTEC Performing Arts, and BTEC Sports. You can do them in combination with as many A-levels from this program as you like. So it may be that one of the BTECs really interests you and you just choose that and the rest are GCSEs, or you can do, as I say, all GCSEs, or you can do a real 50-50 combination with BTECs. So that's very flexible depending on where your strengths lie, whether you like collaborative project work over exams, and where you think your skills are. If you are coming to us and you're slightly older, or there's a reason you might need to be resitting GCSEs, for example, there is the option to do a 1-year program, but that is a very set program. It has much more limited options because we need to make sure that you get all of the teaching and learning for those core subjects. And you can see there mathematics, English, biology, chemistry, physics, and you can choose between either art or business enterprise. Once you get into sixth form, we have over 21 A-levels available to choose from. If you have a look on our website, you could be able to go into more detail about each of those courses, but a huge variety of courses of A-levels that you can take in combination with each other, and you can combine with an extended project qualification or EPQ, which holds value with UCAS points and gives you really invaluable research and writing skills if you so choose to do so. We also have the International Foundation Programme. This is only for international students. As you can see, there are a variety of courses there, from advanced mathematics and economics to art and design, biomedical science, computer science and mathematics, engineering, fashion management, and social sciences. We also run 2 very popular and successful BTEC programs for this year group, and they are in business and the other is in media. We have a real focus on careers and professional development at DLD College London. Right from year 9, you will have built into your timetable a specialist programme that helps you to look at how you portray yourself to the outside world, your social media influence and impact, and thinking about your skills, and then further how to research for potential careers. And as we get closer to sixth form, to really have a focus on universities. We're very lucky to be able to host a variety of university fairs in which universities from the UK and globally come to DLD to be represented at one of our university fairs. We also give advice on apprenticeships or other pathways that you might want to choose apart from university. And when you do get into year 12, you are given your own university admissions tutor who will be with you every step of the way, having individual conversations, helping you to research universities, all the way through to the application process. And then finally on results day, hopefully everything goes smoothly, but if not, it's not a problem. We have your university admissions tutor on hand to help you through any clearing process that might be needed. We're also really focused on our personal health, our relationship health as well, as a statutory and necessary programme. So this is a programme that's delivered to all students at all age groups in an age-appropriate manner throughout the school. We also have sports as well, so you can also take sports recreationally as well as in formal qualifications. And we do have our own gym and swimming pool in the basement of our school. We're very lucky. Year 9 also sees an interesting and unique opportunity to complete an urban schools project where for 1 day a week, you will be out visiting and making the most of what London and the wider area has to offer, from looking at Tesla facilities and factories, business industry, Harry Potter film studios, Kew Gardens, you name it. We have it on our programme for you to visit, for you to make use of, learn from, and put that into a real world research project context. So this is something that we're very proud of having as a unique opportunity at DLD. We also have over 50 different, 50 different enrichment opportunities. So you can choose to go to up to 3 different clubs a week, and these range from horticulture to Duke of Edinburgh, to physics clinics, to medicine societies. Whatever your interest, it is available for you at DLD. If you are interested in looking towards scholarships, we do have some scholarships available. They are hard fought for, they are limited a year, but they are for students who show a particular potential in an area of school life, and they are particularly for sixth form students. Apart from this, we do have some bursaries available, which are means tested, and there may be opportunity for college awards. And hopefully, once you complete your pathway educational journey with us, we get to go to the Houses of Parliament for our graduation, and it is a wonderful, wonderful day. And that is where I will hand over to one of our heads of school, Giovanna, who will talk about her academic experience at DLD. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Giovanna and I hope you're enjoying the morning and gaining an insight about a fantastic school in the heart of London, DLD. I currently study maths, politics and economics and have completed an EPQ project in law. I am also currently an Alpha Scholar. Today, I'll be talking about academics, and it is honestly very hard to talk about it in such a limited time, but I came to the decision to talk about 3 key things that stand out to me as a student in DLD. That is flexibility, transformation, and independence. Here at DLD, the flexibility of the courses are incredible. We have a wide scope of subjects to choose from multiple different dimensions and levels. For example, I study politics, which is not what all schools offer. We even have BTEC esports. So it's not a one size fits all and allows us as students to explore our interests and guide us towards a degree that we want to study at a higher level. I study A levels, and Ishan, who you'll hear soon, studies BTEC. And there are many people in the IFP program, an amazing opportunity to get a qualification in the UK and study here. Also post-school, we have a wide range of people who decide to go to university, not to go to university, or even do apprenticeships. And secondly, transformation has been a very key part of academics in DLD. You may have already heard the modern element of DLD. Well, it also comes through academics. The informal conversations we have with our teachers by not calling them sir or miss, to the use of technology to advance our learning through online resources has really made DLD stand out to me. Indeed, the central location has allowed me to access a wide range of opportunities. For example, I've been to public speaking competitions in London and also a law competition to study economics, and a law competition to study, and also to study economics in a cinema. Education here is not static. It's not traditional that we read books out loud, but rather dynamic and transformative. And thirdly, coming from the countryside to the heart of London, I've gained a lot of independence, especially in my academics. And since we are in London, it's easy to get distracted, but by being able to balance our academics with social life, it has given me the opportunity to learn about balance and provide determination, becoming both a better person, both academically and socially. I'll pass on to James and Gareth, who will be talking about pastoral. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is James. I'm the Senior Vice Principal here at DLD College.
I'm Gareth Evans. I'm the Assistant Principal, Pastoral and Wellbeing.
And this morning we're going to talk to you about pastoral care here at DLD College. For us, it's about being proactive as well as reactive. Your journey starts before you walk in the building. We want to get to know you. We want to start that with the interview process. But after that, we fill out various questionnaires to get a sense of who you are and how we can best help you when you come in through the doors, whether that's as a day student or as a boarder. That carries on going even once you get here, and we'll talk about some of the things you can see on the screen later on the presentation, but all messages and methods that we can use to help you feel right at home to make sure you're here happy and able to do your best. We're going to start by talking about character education. These are the values of the college: tolerance, respect, academic curiosity, community-centered, and kindness. Our values were drawn up by students and staff alike, working together to come up with an idea of what does a DLD student look like. And from that, it's not just the exam grades, it's not just which football team you play in, it's not just whether you're in the play, it's what does it look like as a human being. If you like, it's about creating successful 25-year-olds. Where are you going to be in a few years' time? What kind of person will you be once you've got those grades and once you've gone off to university, the world of work, whatever that might be? In terms of how that looks, you'll see lots of bits and pieces around the college, around newsletters, and also the language that we use constantly in assemblies will refer back to these values. We also want to praise and encourage through our system called ePraise. So if we see students using any of these values and representing those, you'll get praise for that too, and that leads to points for your house, but also points for you. What we see from that is that students really get a sense of being here at DLD College, but also in general. They understand that it's not just about being a number, it's more than just that. It's about being someone who is able to command the respect and obviously push up to the levels that Giovanna, Ishan, as heads of school and the rest of the student council also embody on a daily basis.
So as James has already mentioned, we have a house system at DLD College. The house system is really an opportunity to give our students a sense of a community. So each student, when they arrive, they're assigned to a house. With us being in the heart of London, we named our houses after the tube lines. So within the house, there are either a housemaster or a house mistress, and every student will have a tutor who they meet every single morning. And also, if they're a boarder, their house parent will also be assigned to, will also be a member of that house as well. So that gives us a really good opportunity to understand our students really well, make sure that we can support them pastorally, and have eyes on them at all times. Within the houses as well, we are encouraging healthy competitions. Most weeks there are different events that are taking place that we encourage our students to get involved in, and that's also to give them an opportunity to kind of learn and develop beyond the confines of the curriculum. It's not just about developing themselves to get great results at the end of their time at DLD, but we want them to develop themselves and take advantage of all the different opportunities that are available, and we can do that really well through our house system. Thank you. From a well-being perspective, we have a number of proactive and reactive measures in place that give us a really good kind of wrap-around care for our students. I'm losing my voice, I do apologise. So obviously we have PSHE, which we've mentioned previously. As the head of well-being, I'll meet with our head of PSHE, and we can make sure that the programme is kind of reacting to some of the trends that are occurring with our young people at the time. And we're also picking up on those through our regular wellbeing meetings, both with the wellbeing staff member team, but also on the student council, we have a wellbeing team who we meet regularly. The pastoral care that's delivered by our tutors, house masters, house parents, teachers is also really important for us to be able to understand how our students tick and be able to support them appropriately. And we work with a number of different agents. So AS tracking is a system that we use, which is a diagnostic tool which helps us understand where our students are at, and we can kind of track them throughout the year and make sure that we can put in place really good interventions to best support them. Thank you. And we also, safeguarding is obviously a really important part of our role in between James and I, and we use a system called My Concerns. So if there are any concerns about our students, our staff members are encouraged to pop a note in My Concern, and then we can then proactively react to that.
And if you're wondering about that door noise, pastoral care really is the stuff. The principal bringing in water for Gareth here to help with his sore throat. So he's going to grab a bit of water there. Just quickly, I should point out some of those other bits and pieces you can see. We believe in coaching rather than just telling people what to do. And we work with a company called Graydon, who actually coach our staff to be able to coach students and staff to improve things by leading them to places where they can lead themselves. So rather than us just saying, you've got 15 out of 20, do better, it's about sitting down and saying, how do you think you could do better? And that really brings out better results now, but we also hear from students who have gone off to university who said it's really helped them later down the line. The mental health first aider, we have staff who are trained to deliver that course, and actually all of our student council members do that session also, so they can be best placed to help their peers, as well as obviously staff being trained to help out our wellbeing team and the wider pastoral care that we have in place. On to those students. So we've got 3 students on the call today, 2 of which are the heads of the student council. Student voice and leadership is really important to us here at DLD. We have obviously some rules and regulations. We have a dress code, but we don't have a uniform. And we don't have certain rules that you might expect to see in perhaps more traditional formal schools. The student council is made up across the bodies of the year groups, and they come together to set the tone of what goes on. I meet with Giovanna and Ishan every fortnight to find out what's happening, and they're best placed to give me that idea because they're on the ground. But they're not just there to actually tell us information, they're there to actually take the lead and organise. Currently, they're organising the summer ball for next term for our leavers, but they've also organised a plethora of other things which have taken place throughout the year, whether that's coat drives for charity, whether that's a Christmas party, or all manner of other things going on here at DLD. We also have a boarding council, although I won't talk about that too much because Shirley coming up, our assistant principal boarding, will cover that side of things, but it's another opportunity for students to get involved, as is the house captain and leaders. Gareth talked about the house system earlier. The house captain and house leaders really take the initiative, the lead on when we're having house competitions, whatever they might be, whether that's in photography, football, netball. They might take the lead there to generate the teams, to really inspire people to represent their house. And that will give them a sense of community, but also a sense of participation. And if you win, pride. Lastly, the food committee. So we have 58 different nationalities here at DLD. We're going to recognise, we always do, that we don't necessarily know every single dish that our students might want to see on the menu. So having that food committee where the students come together and then can pass on their feedback to our kitchen manager really gives us an opportunity to hear their take, see what they're looking to eat and to enjoy in the kitchen, and also to build in festivals, other celebratory moments throughout the school year so that we can try and cover those off, that those that are boarding away from home during special occasions can actually enjoy and celebrate that as they go through their time here at DLD College. Finally, we just wanted to talk about the co-curricular activities, or CCAs as we call them. What we see nowadays, an A-level grade, a BTEC grade, an IFP percentage is not enough to get you on beyond into university or the world of work. People are looking to see a little bit more of a rounded human being and looking to see that you can balance your time and actually that there is more facets to you than just your grades. So as Irfan said earlier on, we have over 50 different CCAs that run through the weeks. Most people will look to do at least one, but maybe 2 maybe 3. And each term you can change your CCA if you wish, or you can keep on going. For some of the CCAs, they might be academic enrichment that really helps your study. So for example, on the screen, you can see Enterprise Society. I teach business and economics. The Enterprise Society, a lot of those students find that the theory we have taught them in class is really benefited by doing the Enterprise Society because they're putting into practice what they do. Ishan, who's coming up in a second, is going off to a football match later on, so I'll let him talk about that. But it might also be competitions such as public speaking, it might be chemistry Olympiad, those sort of things. But also the Duke of Edinburgh Award is a very popular award there, which offers several different levels, which includes expeditions, it includes service, it includes doing some sort of skill, and a real sense of achievement by the time you get to the end, because it does take a long period of time to achieve it, but you've actually done a lot to get there. But now we're going to hand over to Ishan, one of the heads of school, who is going to talk to you about the student experience of what we've just discussed. Ishan.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Gareth. I just want to say I'm really appreciate being able to speak to you today about the pastoral side here at DLD College. I've been here since I was 16 years old. I'm now close to 18, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here at DLD, but it would not be the same without the incredible pastoral care I've received. I believe that as a student, it's sometimes difficult to talk to your parents about some things, especially if they're not with you at home, like, because I'm a day student, I travel in, I do have obviously I'm staying with my parents, but I believe that the teachers here, especially our head of neurodiversity, Kimberly Biggs, is an incredible figure for us to go and talk to us about our academic problems or problems that we're having in our social life that may be affecting our work in the classroom. That's something that DLD take incredibly seriously. As well as this, we have many different counsellors available to students to go to, again, sort of using them as a figure to talk to and making sure that because mental health is a massive priority for the staff and students here at DLD. It's a big concern to every member of staff, and it's really close to Irfan's heart, as he believes that having that relationship between student and teacher is something that student and teacher is incredibly important. Now, from a sort of outside of the classroom perspective, there are many different opportunities available to students. Myself personally, I have been in numerous different things as soon as I stepped foot in the building. So as you can see by what I'm wearing the DLD football kit. We have a game later on today in North London, so we'll be making a trip at 12 o'clock. But there's so many other things available. We have football teams, we have netball teams, basketball for the boys, netball for the girls. And as well as this, there is a large opportunity to take part in drama productions. For example, last year we had a production or a sort of a Shakespeare mashup between Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet, a really amazing production. This year we just had one that's currently just been filmed and it's being edited about A Christmas Carol. So there's so many different opportunities for students to sort of get involved with things outside of the classroom, but they are able to incorporate the academic studies as well. At the beginning of this year, I plucked up the courage to become a young reporter as such in the young reporter scheme. I believe that's really helped me when it came to my personal statement and my UCAS application to universities, which I must say the teachers at this school are incredibly hands-on with, and it's always your vision. They want to embody your vision, and it's absolutely incredible to see that hopefully we are obviously going where we want to be, but we are definitely supported in that way, whether that be an apprenticeship or to a Russell Group University like myself. James mentioned that there are plenty of CCA options. They range from academic enrichment to, of course, sport and even knitting. So there really is something for everyone here at DLD College. I would say these have been the best 2 school years of my life. And in honesty, I will be incredibly upset when I leave because I've met so many incredible people, and it's such a well-rounded community here. And I have no regrets because I know I've taken the best opportunities as much as possible. I will now hand over to Shirley, I believe. Thank you.
Thanks, Ishan. Okay, I'm just going to attempt to share my screen with you. See if it is. Here we are. Okay. Okie dokie. Right. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about boarding at DLD. As James said earlier, I am the assistant principal boarding here at DLD. And I just want to start by showing you some pictures, which is a little snapshot of some of the things that our boarders get up to. So it's not all, you know, work, work, work. They do have quite a good balance of work and play. We've got some students there, as Sarah was talking about on the Duke of Edinburgh trip, around their campfires. We've got some pumpkin carving at Halloween. As I'm going to tell you later, a lot of our students do stay here over half term. So if we have festivals and celebrations over half term, we do celebrate that with them in the boarding house. Just next to our Halloween picture, we've got a group of our Persian students celebrating Nowruz in our atrium. And then just off to the side, on the right-hand side, we have lots of our students this year celebrating the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. And underneath, we have a charity walk that we completed, complete with a little bypass off to Buckingham Palace to have our photographs taken. Down to the bottom here, we've got Christmas. A group of our students got together and sent some Christmas presents through a charity called Post Pals, which links up pupils with terminally ill children and families to enable you to put together parcels for them for Christmas to help them to celebrate in a way that they may not be able to without your help. And then just to the left at the bottom there in the middle, probably the favourite time of year for a lot of our students is prom. So we're busy planning that one for this year as well. So Sarah mentioned in our basement, we're lucky enough in the building to have a beautiful gym and swimming pool, which is open to our boarders as well for an additional fee. They can sign up, they can use the swimming pool, the sauna, all of the equipment in the gym. We do have parks just about a 3-minute walk from our building as you walk outside, called Archbishop's. It's got the football pitches, the tennis courts, out of just at the back of our building, part of DLD College. We have a multi-use game area with basketball hoops, which is very, very popular. We've got lots of basketball fans, both staff and students, so that's always a popular one. And then we've got a lovely global kitchen there in the middle, flooded full of light. It's an absolutely gorgeous place to sit and eat. And as James did say, students have a great amount of input there into what they're being served, how they're being served. We're on a big push at the moment for to bring in sustainability into the kitchen. We're looking at reducing waste, we're eradicating single-use plastic, all of that kind of thing. So it's all very much geared towards sort of student focus, and our boarders, because they're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, obviously they're allowed to go out, but they do eat here, they do sleep here, they have their breakfast, their evening meals here. They have a huge amount of input into what happens here and how things are done. So accommodation, that's the big important part with boarding. That's the thing that everybody wants to know. What are the bedrooms like? So we've got 3 different kinds of rooms at DLD. At the top left-hand corner, you'll be able to see we have our twin rooms. So it's a little bit different to what you might think of with a traditional twin room, in as much as there is a dividing wall down the centre. You have the option as to whether you open or close that wall. So what we usually find is it starts off closed, you know, because you arrive and people don't really know each other and there's that little bit of shyness. And then very, very quickly, as you become fast friends, the wall is thrown back and it becomes one great big area. And, you know, people tend to forge their friendships that way, with many of them going on the next year to request sharing with the same people, or you meet new people and decide that actually you want to share with those next year. All of that's absolutely fine. We have, to the right-hand side, you'll see one of our standard single rooms. So that also comes with an ensuite bathroom, which is just for your use. You've got your desk, your chair, your little study area, huge amounts of storage, more storage than I've ever seen in any other boarding bedroom. You've got a huge wardrobe which is lockable. You can put a padlock on there should you wish to do so. You've got under bed storage, over bed storage. You've got storage in the desks as well. And then just at the bottom there, in the middle, you'll see one of our premium rooms. So the difference between those and the standard rooms is size. It is a bit larger for those people who feel like they need just that little bit more space, and the bathrooms are larger, with them being a giant wet room. So they are absolutely great. So what you can do is, after you've been here for 1 year, if you're staying for another year, you've got to know the boarding house a little bit better. You can come. I do the accommodations for all of the boarding rooms. So what I find is a lot of people come up and say, Shirley, I'd like to live on this room, on this floor next year. I'd like this type of room. I want to live with these certain people. What I can do is I can make sure that, you know, when they come back in September, they're on a floor with their friends, they're in a room that they would like to have, and they are as comfortable as they can possibly be. What also happens is our house parents, which Gareth mentioned, attached to the house system, will perform room visits every week. So your house parent will come to your room once a week and have a little chat with you. They are accessible to you 24 hours a day. You don't have to wait for them to come to you. You can go to them. They are always there. They all have phone numbers. There's a centralised house parent phone number which you can call. You're welcome to speak to any of our house parents. If you want to wait for that specific time where it's just a bit more private and there are things that you would like to talk about, your house parent will come to your room once a week and they'll just do what's called a room visit. It's a bit of a welfare check, make sure everything's okay, make sure everything's not too messy, and they'll bring you some fresh bedding and some fresh towels as well. So you have all of that access. So when you're not eating and sleeping and studying, there are plenty of other things for you to do. So every day we have something happening outside of school hours. So we will have IELTS, which is an additional English as a second language practice on a Monday. There are house competitions on a Tuesday. There's also art therapy happens on a Tuesday with one of our assistant house parents. On Wednesday, we have cookery classes. There is a practical element to this. So we've designed a menu to go throughout the whole course. And what we're trying to do is preparing our students for when you get to university to make sure that you're not going to be living on Deliveroo or takeouts all of the time, that you can make your basic staple meals from omelettes to one pot cookery, that kind of thing, just to give you that little bit more. As James said earlier, you know, we're looking at how do we make responsible 25-year-olds. We'd like you to be able to cook for yourself and look after yourself too. So that's the goal for that one, and it's a very popular class. We have a knit and natter, which is very, very well attended by both genders, and everybody seems to sort of enjoy that. At the moment, they're making worry monsters, which sounds a bit bizarre. I would encourage you to Google them. They're actually very, very cute little things. Friday nights, as I said, we have the basketball hoops outside. Tom, our house parent, who's also a basketball coach, will take students out there and they do some practice. The basketball team goes out to practice, but also people who aren't on the team but just want to have a bit of a play, they also get to do that as well. We have a baking night, which is combined with a movie night as well. We occasionally have late night movie nights, which are also very popular now. I don't know if that's because the movies are popular or it's just a little bit of an excuse to stay up later on a Friday night, but they're very well attended. And then on Sundays, Miles, one of our house parents, holds a wellbeing drop-in centre for anyone who is just having a few issues, might want to just have a chat with somebody. They can drop in with Miles and have a little chat there. All of our boarding staff are sleep trained. They're all accredited boarding practitioners with the Boarding School Association. So they're all very, very well qualified to deal with anything that might come up. James touched on the food committee earlier on, and the food committee has a boarding representative from each house. I've just put some pictures up there of, this is actually the food that's served in our global kitchen. I did take these pictures in our kitchen, so I haven't just gone on Google and found what looks good to put on there. This is stuff that happened in our kitchen, so that you can get a good look. One thing that came up that they said they might like was a sushi bar. So they worked with the kitchen and the kitchen came up with a sushi bar. Rather than just sort of cake for pudding, although some people do like that, they said, you know, we'd really like more fruit, more fresh foods, more fresh vegetables. So there is a huge array of fresh fruits and vegetables every day available. And it's really important for them because they are having all three of their meals here. So you know, if there's something that you don't like at lunchtime, that's not really that much of an issue because you've got your breakfast and your dinner. Whereas with the boarders, it's really important to them that they have an input because they are eating all of their meals here. And our kitchen staff are fantastic and they really take on board what the boarders are saying. So we also have a boarding council whom I meet with regularly, and they take the represented views from their own houses and they bring that to me, and we work together to make sure that we can integrate suggestions from the boarding community so that they're seeing what they want to see and they're getting what they want to get within reason. What they can also do is if they bring a suggestion to me that for whatever reason is not really feasible or not really possible, for example, you know, we're not going to change curfew on a Friday night till 1 a.m, although they have tried, the boarding council can then go back to their houses and feed that back as well. It's also a good gateway for those looking to apply for student council. It gives them that practice, that little bit of an experience of being on the council, and that way when they go on to apply to student council, they can say they've had that experience. So another thing we're offering with the integration of our Year 9 curriculum, as Dr. Sarah Watson was speaking of earlier, is the DLD Boarding Award, which will be delivered in partnership with the Boarding Schools Association. And this will start in Year 9, it will be compulsory for all Year 9 students, and then they will carry it on, and whichever level they decide to work up to is what they will qualify in. This is recognised by universities. It is something that will look very, very good on the UCAS applications. So I would encourage, although, you know, it will be compulsory for Year 9, it's not compulsory for any other year group, but I would say it's definitely worth doing. So some of the frequently asked questions when people come to tour boarding or when we have open evenings are laundry. Will I have to do my own laundry? You don't have to, but you can if you want to. So we have a laundry service that's an external company that comes in, collect your laundry, will take it away and will bring it back within 24 hours, all laundered, clean and ready for you. We do, however, have washing machines and tumble dryers on site. So if you would like to do your own laundry, and lots of people do, you can do that. You can do that yourself, that's fine. We have a cleaning company who will come in and clean your room every week. They will not tidy your room. Tidying your room is entirely up to you, but they will clean your room for you. We have lots of, I've told you about the activities that we have in-house. We also have external trips that we go on. So we have the usual paintballing, go-karting, the slightly more unusual cat cafe, which is very popular. We've recently done the London Bake Off, which was great fun. And we also have trips outside of London. So we have a tour of the kingdom, which one of our house parents, Jan, is running at the moment. That is trips to England, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. And Jan's also running a trip to Morocco in the October half term. So we really do have something for everyone. We have a matron that lives on site and does a morning surgery every morning in the boarding house. So if you are not feeling well in the mornings, you go and see the matron. You do not have to leave the boarding house. You can see her there. And she will give you medication if you need medication. She will assess you, take your temperature and decide if you need to be signed off. So if you need to be signed off from your lessons, the matron is the only person who can do that. So you must make sure that you go and see her before lessons. She also runs a drop-in clinic on a Wednesday. So if there is something a little bit more long-term, you can speak to her on a Wednesday in the evenings. And she's available at school all throughout the week to see during the school day as well. Holidays, we stay open during all of the half-term holidays. The only time the boarding house is closed is the Christmas holiday and the summer holiday. You are very welcome to stay with us at every other point of the year. That is absolutely fine. We actively encourage you to go and see your family if you would like to see your family, stay with your guardians. But if you do wish to stay in boarding, you might have exams coming up. You might just not fancy a long haul flight if it's one of the shorter holidays. You're very welcome to stay here with us. We are fully staffed. The kitchen is still working in operation, and we put on huge amounts of activities just so that you don't get too bored. At weekends, I often get asked what happens at weekends. It's entirely up to you. You can spend your weekend going out in London, going to shows, going to museums. You can sign out if you have a guardian. you can go and visit, stay with them. If you have family, you can stay with them, that's fine. We do have trips on. If there's a big football match, we'll be off to Wembley, that kind of thing. Or you can decide you're going to stay and work and study because you've got lots to do, and that's the kind of thing you want to do on your weekend. It really is up to you. We are led by you, but we are fully staffed again at a weekend. So if you need anything, the house staff are all here for you. You can ask us anything you need. And sometimes you can just come and sit with us and have a chat too. A lot of the questions that parents ask me are geared around security. How secure are we? We have 24 hours security. There is always someone here manning the building. So the building is never unattended. There is always security here. The house staff are always here at the front desk, and you have to have key access to get into the building. And then you would need additional key access to get up to the boarding house. And then you would need additional key access to get into the bedrooms. So we are one of the most secure places that you can be. So they are the main questions that I get asked. Obviously, if you have more questions, please do feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll answer them at the end of the open morning. I'm going to pass you on now to Mark, who is one of our boarders, and he's going to share a little bit of his experience so far about what it's been like for him at DLD since he came in September.
Thank you, Shirley. I'm afraid I'm not allowed to turn on my camera. So I'll just speak about my experience. So my name is Mark, I'm from Russia, and I joined DLD College at the beginning of the study year. I've spent about 5 months living here as a boarder, and without a shadow of a doubt, I can say that I couldn't wish any better boarding life than what I have now. Oh, thank you for the video. Yeah, now you can see me. So I can't wish any more than what I have now. Probably the main question would be, what are advantages of staying in DLD College as a boarder? And I can give a very simple answer. Your children get literally everything it needs to have for a comfortable and happy life. For example, a convenience that the elevators create is by giving a possibility to get down to the first floor, where you can find house parents, direct yourself to the classroom, or get a lunch, dinner, or any another meal. In case a student feels unwell and needs to get back to the room, everything is many times quicker comparing to day students. Rooms are locked, if we talk about the security, and have a good sound insulation, which are very important aspects of privacy if your children want to study or just get a moment of quiet by themselves. Common rooms on each floor consist of everything that could be necessary for socialization. Moreover, bedrooms themselves are very comfortable and suitable to invite friends in. It's very important to mention that each student gets a cleaning service weekly, as Shirley has said before, thank you. So we don't have to worry about cleanliness of our rooms and our floor. Another thing to mention is obviously socialization. Apart from our common rooms, we have an atrium where we spend a lot of our free time. On the backyard, there is a basketball court that is always open for everyone who keen on sport or just wants to get some fresh air with friends. Along with it, it goes to notice that DLD is located in the heart of London, in front of Archbishop's Park, which is obviously very convenient in terms of traveling around the city. As a sixth form student, who I am, I'm allowed to travel freely around London. Thus, I found our location one of the main features of living here. Overall, I'm sure that you and your children will not be disappointed if you choose boarding in our college, as I did. As Heaven said earlier, DLD has got an award for the best boarding in 2021, and I believe it was honestly earned. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you, Mark. Let me just get my video working. Okay, my name is Victoria Davis-Jones and I'm Head of Admissions here at DLD College London. And I suppose the first thing I would say is that we know how important making the decision about which senior school your child goes to. It's a very important decision and there's a lot to take into consideration, and we're here to help you on that journey. Whether you're a domestic student or an international student, no question is too trivial for us. We understand that it's, sending your child to board is a particularly important decision to make as a family. I myself am mother to 5 children, 3 of whom have been boarders, and I know how it feels. So please feel free to talk to us. We're your point of contact at the school, and we will do everything to make the application process as smooth as possible. So I am going to share with you a very short presentation to let you know about the process of applying to DLD. So for some reason I can't see. I hope I'm on the first slide. Is that right?
That's right, Victoria.
Okay, so I actually can't see the presentation. So I think maybe I might just talk to you and talk it through without actually going through the presentation itself, as I can't see it. But the first thing we will need from you is an application form. If you're a domestic student, you will be coming to us via the DLD College London office. And if you have settled status as well, we're here to help you. If you're an international student, we have the opportunity to look after you with our staff who are based all over the world. They're expert in helping you with all the considerations that you will need to take, such as the visa requirements and the documentation that you will need to come and study with us. We also ask that if you have any special educational need or you have any kind of mental health issue, that you share that with us in advance, because that way we can make sure that we really look after you and give you everything that you need when you start with us, and make sure that we're the right fit for you. So I'll come on now to visiting us. We love showing people around DLD College London. I think Irfan said at the beginning, and I wrote it down, passion and purpose. And there is passion and purpose in spades in this school. You only need to come here to drink in the atmosphere. It's a busy, vibrant place with opportunities for quiet, with wonderful, receptive students and staff. So if you can possibly come and see us in advance, we love to have you. We're very welcoming. You just need to let us know. After that, or as part of the application process, we do hold an interview. And this is an opportunity for you to share with us your academic goals, looking at your future, deciding whether we're the right fit, and we can tell you a little bit about what we expect from our students. We don't have a lot of rules. We expect our students to be very responsible, but there are, of course, structures. We are a senior school, we expect attendance and that sort of thing. So we're here to just lay it out clearly for you so you understand what we're about. And then after that, if you're successful, you'll be made an offer to come and join us. There's all sorts of online opportunities for you then to get to know us a bit better. And we are here to help you with all questions and anything that you might wish to know. So I hope you'll feel free to come back to us. The details are on the website. If you're an international student, there is a different number, but if you phone me, that's fine. I can always put you in touch with the right people if I need to. And I and the team very much look forward to welcoming you here at DLD College London. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. And thank you everyone who's presented to the staff and the students. Incredibly informative, and thank you very much. We did invite questions at the start of the session, and I'm pleased to say we've had lots and lots of engagement on that. via the Q&A. I believe our staff have been very proactive and answered most of the questions in real time. So thank you to everyone for doing that. If you do have any more questions now, please feel free to post. And I thought what I would do is just touch on a couple of the questions that came through pre-registration. But please do post any questions you have now, because we have the next few minutes to kind of to answer them directly in real time. The first question we got was kind of just about the structure of the school day, and just to give an overview. I know it's difficult across different courses, but I'll throw it open to the panel. Does anyone want to just give an overview of how the school day works in terms of the start of the school day, the finish of the school day, and how kind of lessons are structured?
Hi, John. I'm happy to take that one. So for everyone, the school day starts Monday to Friday at 8:45. So every single student comes in at that time, and you have a 15-minute tutor session. So the same person, you'll see your tutor every day, Monday to Friday. That gives you a chance to touch base, but also to have a familiar face you can see each day. So you've got someone, if you're feeling good, great. But if there's something where you're not quite right, you can have a chat with them and they can help you out. The lessons run from 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock. If you're doing a GCSE or Year 9 course, that's pretty much going to be a really packed, busy day, lessons from 9 till 4. If you're doing anything in the sixth form courses, the lessons run between those times, but you will have a mix of times when you're taught by teachers, but also some study time independently, where you need to do maybe coursework, maybe essays, whatever it might be, to make sure you're on top of your work. The CCAs, co-curricular activities, run between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and they run on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, apart from football, which is on a Monday. And so that means that by 5 o'clock, you are finished for the day. So if you don't have a CCA, you can go home earlier, but if you do have a CCA, by 5 o'clock, you'll be finished. And then the boarders, as Shirley talked about, the boarding activities and so on, they run after dinner most of the time, which is at 6 o'clock until 7 o'clock. So most of the day students will be gone home by 5 o'clock, and obviously the boarders will then choose what they're doing in the evening, whether that's obviously studying, whether that's going out, whether that's staying in and just enjoying some time to relax.
Thank you, James. That's great. We just had a bit of a follow-up question, which you may be able to answer on top of that. Jenny's just asked if there's a minimum required attendance for students, and what are kind of the attendance standards that we expect?
Absolutely. We expect 100% attendance is the short answer. In terms of what happens, if a student is sick, then obviously they might be sick. They would need to contact our attendance officer, but they should expect to turn up every day, do all their registration, tutor time, lessons, CCAs. So aim for 100% because that's the expectation. If they drop down from that, we will then have structures in place where they might have to go on to report. We might put students in the sixth form into supervised study to make sure they're doing what they need to be doing, because it's important that they're here. If they're missing lessons, their grades fall. There's an absolute correlation between that. So the expectation is 100% attendance. It's not an option to turn up when you feel like it. Absolutely, you must be here for all of your sessions.
Excellent. Thank you, James. That's great. I think we've just had a question that Sarah's answered about the entrance examinations. We did have a question just asking specifically about the Year 9 programme, whether there are any differences in terms of the application and the admissions process for that course. So I don't know if that's a Victoria or if Sarah wants to just pick up on that slightly and just give a bit more detail.
Yeah, I can do that. So for Year 9, of course, they won't have any formal qualifications by that point. So we do have something called the DLD Challenge, which is a problem-solving task. It's on the computer, and that allows us to have a look at students' skills and for them to experience the type of learning that they might have. There's no pass or fail mark. It's not like a 13+ exam at all. And they would also have a friendly interview with a member of the senior leadership team as well, as all students would.
Thank you, Sarah. And another academic question while I've got you, just that came through before the session. We just had some questions about how we support students with their university application and I guess preparation for university. So if you could just take us through that, you know, how we support students from the sixth form and up.
Yeah, I mean, this is really important to us, and we start it from Year 9 and up. So all students in Year 9, 10 and 11 have built into their timetable a weekly lesson that really focuses on careers and university thinking for the future. Once students get to year 12, they are allocated their own personal university admissions tutor. We call them UATs. We also have a head of university admissions and a separate head of careers. So very much a real focus on helping students to make those decisions, how to research these things properly, and giving them really bespoke, knowledgeable advice on university progression. That university admissions tutor will stay with that student from year 12 all the way to the end of year 13, helping them write their application, submitting the application through UCAS or an international university. And then they will be there at the very end when they get their results and congratulate them for getting into the university of their choice, or help them go through the clearing process. So that's there's a lot of support for university and careers.
Thank you, Sarah. That's great. We've just had a question come through from Catherine, which I think we can maybe put to Shirley. Tell me if I'm wrong, but Catherine's just asked for some clarification about what happens with boarders during the holidays and weekends. And then there was another question I think that came through, so it might be for Shirley as well, in terms of what is the process for students who might be looking to live outside of the school, but maybe with a guardian or a relative?
Hi, yeah. Sorry, I can't seem to get my camera working at the moment, so you're just going to have a voice from the void. So yes, you can sign out on the weekends to stay with your guardians during your holidays as well. During the application process, there is a part on the form which asks you to specify your guardian details. You write that down on there. What we do as a team, we send out links to all of the guardians and parents to a boarding platform system that we use called Reach. Once you get that, you can actually apply, the parent or the guardian themselves can apply for the leave for the child. We will then look at who the child is going to stay with and contact that person and ask them for a certain number of documentation, for example, proof of address, proof of identification, and then we will follow up with a phone call to that person just to clarify that actually, yes, they are expecting, this student, they are coming to stay with me. I am happy to take responsibility for them for that time. Once all of those things have been done, we will approve that, and then the student can go and stay with them. So although it might sound like quite a long process, the process for the parent or guardian is very, very simple. It's just one application, and then we as the house parent team would follow up and do all of the work for that. And students are able to sign out to their parent or guardian at any time, as long as that person is over 25 years old, and we have all of that information from them. For the other question, I think maybe that could be an admissions one, I think. Victoria, do you want to take that?
Yes, John, could you repeat the second half of that question?
There was just a question about students who want to live independently, I guess with parents or maybe guardians, and kind of just how the process for making that request and how we kind of approve it.
Yes, so that will go through the international admissions team and will be requested. We do have rules about this. Obviously, our priority is the safety of all our students. So we can't have youngsters living, for example, with siblings who are only a couple of years older than them, because we need to know that they're in a safe and secure environment conducive to their study at school. So we have rules. We on a case-by-case basis, we can talk to families about that. And Irfan, our principal, will also get involved if we have anything that we need to discuss further.
Brilliant. Thank you, Victoria. We've just got a few more questions. Sophia just asked about day students coming in to the lower six. And then obviously we touched a little bit on kind of learning support or SEN support. So I know that's maybe one for James and Gareth just to touch on that kind of student experience for a day student. How do we integrate them into the school with the boarders, and then kind of the SEN support that we'll be providing?
Sure. If we start on the student experience, and then Sarah, I guess you probably want to take for the SEN part. But the student experience for the day student, whilst obviously they will come in commuting in each day, they are welcome to join in, for example, to boarding trips, and often they'll be really good friends with the people that are boarders. So, for example, when it comes to 5 o'clock, whilst the natural expectation is they would leave, just like your day students might have boarders over as their friend, the boarders can have a day student to come over and stay. They would just sign in so we know who's here for the safety side of things. Occasionally, for example, in art, they might be running an afternoon or evening session, particularly because it's a subject which is quite intensive and they need to do a lot of extra work. They will often be doing some things like that. There's also the weekend activities that Shirley talked about, and trips, for example, where we will get day students joining in with that. In terms of the rest of their day, there's no real difference. If you went and looked around the college now, you wouldn't be able to say that boy is a student of a day student, that's a boarder, because they're friends of each other, they mix as they go, and in classes they mix. So you're just a student. It just depends on where you live and obviously what time you might be going home. But the actual student experience is largely the same, whether you're day or boarder. There's additional things going on in boarding, and obviously you don't have to get up so early if you're a boarder. You just have to come down in a lift like I do each morning. But in terms of the, around the college, you definitely couldn't say that's a day student, that's a boarder. Sarah, did you want to jump in on the SEN part?
Yeah, so we are a fully inclusive college. We do have a really great neurodiversity team. We are not a specialist school. I know that was in one of the questions. We're not a specialist SEN school. We do have support, like any other school would have support for students with SEN, but we deal with it on a case-by-case basis. So we would look at what the needs are of the student. We'd speak with our neurodiversity colleagues to see whether we are equipped to meet the needs of that student. It's all about where the best place for that student is. So we would work with parents and the previous school and any educational psychologist reports, for example, to assess whether we have the resources to meet needs. And there are plenty of students here with kind of more milder SEN learning needs, which is really not a problem, but it's just about the individual.
Thank you, James and Sarah. That's great. There's a few questions here which I'll probably just go through quickly. Please stop me if I've got anything wrong or if you want to add anything. But we've just been asked, do students need to set up a bank account before arriving at DLD? I'm presuming we're talking specifically about international students. I believe kind of things like bank accounts maybe will be taken care of during the induction process, and we can help students and support students with bank accounts, and that will come through our pastoral team. School offering activities, and I presume we're talking about weekends and during holidays. I think we touched on that briefly. There's a wide range of activities at weekends and during the holidays, and it's a great advantage to our school that students can live in the boarding and don't have to leave during weekends or during the holidays. So we've had a couple of questions about that. Sorry, they're coming thick and fast, so I'm just going to try and deal with them a little bit. So yeah, on activities. And oh, does the school have a doctor or GP access? So maybe, and again, another one for James and Gareth there.
Yeah, I would say that. But we have, so Shirley mentioned earlier, matron who lives on site, so she's here all the time, who deals with the sort of minor things. But all boarders are expected to sign up at the local GP service, which is called Waterloo Health, which is about 3 minutes from here, and so they can access that. If there's more serious things, and for example, it might be the random accident where you're playing basketball, you trip over your own laces and so on, we're very fortunate to have St Thomas's Hospital across the road, which has an urgent care and an A&E. So if you need just the basics, we've got that in-house. If you need a little bit more, there's a GP surgery. If there's a medical emergency, there's a hospital across the road. So very much catered for that. And we would absolutely expect everyone to sign up to the doctor's surgery to make sure they can access all of those resources and services in the local area. If you're living out, obviously, depending where you live, you should find your local GP to sign up to, rather than the one closest to school, because if you're sick at home, there's no point coming to school to go to the doctor.
Thank you, James. I think we've pretty much covered everything that's come up. Obviously, if you do have any questions post-event, we will be in touch, so do ask us those questions. And obviously we'll send a copy of the recording as well, so you can watch at your leisure. The one thing that did come up briefly in the chat, and Victoria touched on it as well, is, just to reiterate, we love having visitors. So we do actually have an open evening taking place on the 11th of May, but you don't need to wait until that event to come and visit. get in touch with the college. If you're an international student or an international parent and you're visiting the UK, come through our admissions team in your country, or even contact the college directly, and we will arrange that visit at a time that's convenient to you. And we love to show people around the school. So please do come in physically and see us for an open day or for a visit opportunity. But I think it just remains for me to say thank you to everyone, and to say hope everyone, wherever you are in the world, in the UK or internationally, is having a lovely day, and goodbye. I'll let everyone say goodbye and then sign off.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.